President Trump giving a primetime address from the White House, speaking at length about economic wins and the administration's affordability push.
Yep, the commander-in-chief also announcing a new warrior dividend for U.S. troops.
Rich Edson is live from the White House with the details. Good morning, Rich.
Good morning, Lawrence, Kaylee, and Brian. Well, President Trump says those dividend checks for soldiers and troops are already on the way, and he suggested that tariff revenue would help pay for them.
1,450,000 military service members will receive a special, we call warrior dividend before Christmas, a warrior dividend in honor of our nation's founding in 1776. We are sending every soldier $1,776. Nobody deserves it more than our military.
It's unclear how specifically the administration is funding the dividends without approval from Congress. This was all part of a presidential speech last evening, largely on the economy, where President Trump maintained that prices are falling rapidly and that his administration is still working to bring them down further. The president teased higher tax refunds next year and also blamed the previous administration for an economic mess.
Wages are going up much faster than inflation. How big is that? Very importantly, there are more people working today than at any time in American history, and 100% of all jobs created since I took office have been in the private sector.
The latest reading on inflation is about 3% year over year. Democrats say prices are higher, unemployment is rising, and Trump tariffs are hitting American consumers. The latest Fox News polling shows 9 in 10 Americans are concerned about inflation and high prices, about the same as the beginning of this year and higher than the summer of 2021 when inflation was beginning to take hold under the Biden administration. In his speech, the president also highlighted his immigration policy, securing the border and deporting criminals. The president has another speech planned for this week. He's going to Rocky Mount, North Carolina tomorrow.
What are we even talking about this for?
Okay. That was very charming, Jared. It was very, very charming, cold open for our final show of the year. Ladies and gentlemen, what a year it has been. This is our last time for a terrestrial Benny show. We'll probably have some live streams between now and the end of the year, but this is our last Benny show for the year 2025 official. We are so thankful to have been rolling with all of you. It has been a massively successful year, and we are honored to have been fighting with you. Klein, let's do the freaking roars. Let's go. I mean, we got like a crazy, we got a crazy show here. I'll do it. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, what a way to end the year. We are off to America Fest after this program. We will be doing a couple of pit stops in between. It's gonna be a rowdy end of the season for us. It has been a rowdy year. We're gonna recap everything. This year, we're thankful for you, and we have thankfully very good news off the top, predicting that we were right again. We were right. We were right. We were right. We were right. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been well, it's been an honor of a lifetime to be able to cover 2025 with and for you. We have been through some major ups and downs, a lot of ups, though, as a country. A couple of downs. I am a little down on Dan Bongino quitting the FBI. We're going to cover that today in the show. My take on Dan and his time in the FBI and exactly why this is a good thing. We will also be covering Trump's year-end address where he tricked the media, the old Lucy with the football, Charlie Brown, into covering all of his accomplishments this year. We'll have a wrap-up from that last night. Everybody thought that we were going to war. We'll be joined today by Representative Andy Ogles and Eli Crane. My name is Benny Johnson, and this is The Benny Show. Oh, by the way, today is Thursday, December 18th, 2025. Just do it in reverse. Why not? Last show of the year, freaking Christmas free-for-all, and I've been told that we get one more day from our producer of the Christmas ornaments, ladies and gentlemen. One more day to order your Christmas ornaments. They come in a little box. We even have like the Benny logo on the box, right? Got them nice and shipped, packaged, and ready to go. We will be heading to America Fest. So here is a Charlie Kirk freedom flag, ladies and gentlemen, with a Bible verse on the back, Matthew 5:10, reminding you that Jesus is King. Yes, Christ is King. Yes, King. No kings. I agree with that. There's only one King, and it is Christ Jesus. Your election map. All of your favorite ornaments, ladies and gentlemen, can be yours. We got the biggest order ever yesterday. Somebody ordered 100 ornaments in one order. That was amazing. We've been, selling like hotcakes. I don't know what the final number is. I think we got over 50,000 ornaments sold. The biggest ornament salesman in the world. You're looking at them right here. And you and me are making this a very Merry Christmas. Go to the Benny store. Can we pop up the Benny store, please? Go to the Benny store and you can get your ornaments today for $5. Just a reminder that these ornaments make Christmas for American veterans who create these ornaments and make them, ship them out to you. An awesome American industry. We're thankful to you. God bless you all. Thank you for making this a very successful ornament season. Okay, and our Christmas tree of the day. Please keep sending in your Christmas trees. We love getting them. We post them on social media, and these are, we'll do like a whole thread before Christmas. So we'll do like a mega thread of every tree, of every person that's sent in a tree. Send them into Klein@BennyJohnson.com. This tree is from Dawn Harper. Look at that. We got Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse and Donald Trump. And some Star Wars characters. You got BB-8 on there and Elsa, right? Okay, perfect. This is eclectic family. I love it. And then we got Kyle and Melissa Sherman here. They have a beautiful tree. You have the nativity there with the Trump truck and the Charlie Kirk flag, the B-2 bomber. What an awesome tree. The Christmas ornaments lighten up the country, and we are very proud to be delivering today. Make sure that you have an American tree. Make sure you have an American New Year with American Financing. American Financing is the company that we recommend when it comes to consolidation of high-interest credit card debt. This is something that is a massive problem for families. It can really restrict your capacity to build and grow in this great American economy and in this great Christmas season. So make sure that you're reconsolidating that debt. You can use your home equity to do it. Anybody can do it. You can get a lot better rates, and rates are going to come down. And so, ladies and gentlemen, now is the time to get out of modern-day slavery, which is high-interest credit card debt. Move to do this right now. Call 888-528-1219. That's 888-528-1219 for AmericanFinancing.net/Benny. AmericanFinancing.net/Benny. To make sure that you can seize your golden era. And I got some golden era news for you. Holy moly. Ladies and gentlemen, we got brand new, Klein, can you share my window? Thank you. We got a brand new inflation number that is obliterating what the experts said was going to happen. People on CNN legitimately gasping at our core inflation numbers, CPI inflation. This is obviously the price of all goods and services. How much are those prices inflating? Effectively, how much is the dollar diminishing? How much less does a dollar buy? And this is everything from eggs to gasoline to groceries. And even the economists on CNN are blown away. This is positive news. No other way to spin it. What is the news? CPI was 2.7. This is the lowest it's been since the pandemic. President Trump hasn't been in office for 11 months. 10 months. Let's just say, end of January. We're just going to round backwards. 10 months, and you already have pre-pandemic inflation numbers. Check it out. CPI 2.7. The consensus was going to be above 3.1. Core inflation 2.6. Consensus was 3. Wall Street estimates weren't even close. President Trump's economy is rip-roaring. Obviously, you want the lower the inflation, the better the economy is doing. It means a stable economy. And where does inflation come from? Where does it come from? Milton Friedman fans, come on. Show me in the comments. Milton Friedman, all inflation is a product, a derivative, a delta of government spending. That's it. When government spends more money, prints more money, inflation goes up, they make the dollar worth less. That's it. That's the only driver of inflation is government spending. Has the government spending been cut as much as I want it to be? No. I want a government small enough to drown it in a bathtub, a child's play bathtub. But have hundreds of federal workers, hundreds of thousands of federal workers been fired? Yes. Are Americans getting jobs instead of foreigners? Yes. Is the DOGE cuts being codified? Some of them, yes, and many more to come. 150 different executive orders will be voted on, including a fix for healthcare that was voted on last night and passed the House. These are big time, big boy things that are going down right now. Absolutely insane. Inflation in the U.S. just unexpectedly posted one of the best monthly declines since 2023. While a 10 basis point increase on inflation was expected, it fell 40 basis points. This puts CPI inflation at the lowest level since 2021 pandemic. According to this data, inflation is now at its closest point to the Fed's 2% target since the pandemic. 2026 is going to be a wild year. Huge. They were gasping, by the way. Gasping. This is not like an economic nerd out show. I'm just saying, like, these kind of things show such positive signs. And we're going to go through our favorite moments of the year on the show today, our top 10 moments of the year. This just shows extremely positive signs. Jerry, can you make me a top 10 stinger? Is that possible? Can we see if we can get that? We probably would go through that in like 20 minutes. Are we able to get like a top 10 stinger? I would love that. Maybe we have an old one lying around. Maybe Jerry has a meme. A very good number. The analysts on CNBC gasp. They gasp audibly when they see this number. I think we have this clip. Let's go ahead and pop it up.
The CPI, maybe coming in a little bit better than expected. 2.7%, a little light here. I'm just reading the headlines here. Year over year, 2.7. Ex-food and energy core, 2.6. So 0.4 off. That is a very good number here. And it really, I have not looked at the internals. I'll look at them now, but it suggests that the internals are good as well. Let's see, year over year, over the last 12 months. There is no month to month, but some guys will be able to calculate. Seasonally adjusted index for all items less food and energy rose 0.2.
Audible gasps. We have one more. CNN shocked. Okay, great. All right. Okay, we got it. You guys are fantastic. Let's kill it this morning. Let's crush it this morning. CNN holding back tears, fighting back tears, bitter, enraged, on air about this, saying there is no other way to spin this. It is a very, very good sign that the Trump economy is roaring. Let's go to CNN.
Brand new numbers on inflation. You can see the annual rate of inflation down a little bit. In November, it was at 3% the last time we got a reading. Now it is ticked down, cooling slightly to 2.7%. Let's get right to CNN's Matt Egan for the latest on these numbers. This is below expectations, Matt.
That's right, John. Finally, some good news on the number one economic issue, the cost of living. So the government just put out this new report saying that consumer prices were up by 2.7% year over year in November. That is much better than the forecast from economists, which was for 3%. And as you mentioned, this is a step in the right direction relative to September, which was at 3%. Now, I can't tell you what it was in October because the government shutdown messed with the collection of data during that month. But clearly, this is another step in the right direction.
CNN holding back tears. You love to see it. Just one more awesome chart. Check this out. This is winning, ladies and gentlemen. Earnings growth has outpaced inflation this year. Average American's weekly paycheck now buys 1.6 more than it did when Joe Biden was leaving office in January. After falling 4% under Biden, what a difference a president makes. your dollar was worth so much less. Look at this. Biden versus Trump. This is real average earnings versus the month of the presidential term. So the real earnings is obviously inflation, the delta between inflation and the actual money that you're bringing in and what it buys. And look at this. Biden is blue, Trump is orange, LOL. And look at that. Your dollar is going farther, and it's about to get so much better. We're going to cover it. We're going to cover it in the show today. Woo. Woo. Everybody posting about this. People saying this is chilly. November core inflation, lowest since March. University of Michigan said 20% inflation by now. The experts. Look at that. Inflation is chilly. Excuse me, I was told that by the news that the tariffs would cause massive inflation shock. Oh, it's going to get so much better. Listen, we're going to talk about the big, beautiful bill here in just a second as we go through the top 10 accomplishments of the year and our favorite moments of the year. And then recap President Trump tricking the corporate press into covering his accomplishments last night, which was just the troll master at his best. God tier trolling. And then we're going to cover some of the new plaques at the White House. Got some other good stuff to cover. But let me just tell you what, man. We have some friends who work in the federal government, who work in Russ Vought's office, who talk about obviously how to cut inflation, how to balance budgets, how to end government spending, how to eliminate government waste. And this big, beautiful bill, which has been signed into law but is not implemented, it doesn't become law until January 1. Dude, this thing is going to cut taxes, eliminate fraud, eliminate abuse. Yes, we didn't get everything that we wanted. It's not possible. We don't live in a perfect world. This thing is going to rocket the economy. There are so many protections for major industries in this bill. There's so many fantastic benefits for the American people. And I'm not out here to say that this is perfect. It ain't perfect, obviously. But what they have done let's just take two fronts here. One, what they've done on the taxation front and the business climate front to encourage investment in America and only in America is critical. And to penalize companies that go overseas. You're already seeing the repatriation of massive jobs and industries to our country because the big, beautiful bill punches these companies right in the nuts for outsourcing. It is an anti-outsourcing bill. It is critically important to understand that this is about bringing jobs back to America and creating a better business climate, lowering tax rates on all Americans, obviously no tax on tips and stuff like that, built into there. Very good stuff, child benefits and so on. Okay, great. One other absolutely critical element that I don't think a lot of people talk about and that don't talk about enough. And if you may, I know it's in the chat, but can you grab me that Stephen Miller tweet from last night that we tossed up? The big, beautiful bill gives something close to a $500 billion for mass deportations. If you are a criminal alien in this country, you're getting deported. Your ass is grass. You're going home. What does that do? And you can see Stephen Miller is preparing the country for this. Stephen Miller's preparing the nation for what's about to happen. Breaking yesterday, denaturalization process is now going to heat up. They've opened up and they've hired 1,500 judges for denaturalization to take Americans that shouldn't have been made Americans and kick them out of the country and send them home, to take away their passports, shred them, and send them back. Ilhan Omar going to be one of them? They're preparing you for this. And why is this critical? Because, well, everyone just votes on the economy. Some people vote on crime, but everyone votes on the economy. That's just the rule. The economy's up here. Crime, the healthcare, all those other things are down here. I'm not saying they're not important. I'm just saying, the economy is it. When you get rid of criminal aliens, you get rid of all your problems. Is your gas too high? Is your home prices too high? Are your grocery prices too high? You pay too much in taxes? You pay too much welfare? Too many parasites in the country? Too much dirt, too much filth, too much crime, too much traffic, too many kids in schools, too many kids that don't speak English in schools. Here's a good one. Are you losing the fabric of your community? Does your community have a Muslim call to prayer in it where a bunch of Muslims like pray to another land, a foreign nation 5 times a day? What does that do to our country? What does that say about us as a people? They're praying to another country? How are you supposed to have a harmonious and America First movement if there's entire no-go zones in places like Little Mogadishu, in Minneapolis, and in Dallas, and in these other cities? I mean, how are you supposed to do that? How are you supposed to have an American fabric? How are you supposed to have an American continent with a united mission and vision? And I'll tell you what the American vision is. I'll tell you. It's an American vision that is based purely and entirely on Christendom, Christian principles, on the rules and of the Old Testament through to the New Testament. And that creates orderly, clean, safe societies. It's very simple what America First looks like. America First looks like we spend our time and treasure here in this country. Let's talk Stephen Miller here for a second. For years, the United States operated as a reverse empire, using its military to enrich foreign nations and foreign peoples, sacrificing our wealth, security, and sovereignty for the sole benefit and advancement of those beyond our borders. All we got in return were migrants. No more. America's military will secure America's rights. American military will defend America's destiny. For Americans first and always. Do you understand that the big beautiful bill and what's about to happen in this country is you're about to see mass deportations at scale, repatriation of jobs, and you're going to see an American dream that we can have when we close our borders, when we focus on ourselves, and when we focus on assimilation, because immigration without assimilation is an invasion. And you have to have people coming here that are harmonious with Western civilization. And what is Western civilization? Again, peaceful streets, safe streets, streets where you can communicate with your neighbor, streets where you can talk the same language as your neighbor, where you trust the people around you, high trust, high value societies, where kids can have lemonade stands or you can have farm stands. Do you grow up around farm stands where farmers would just have a stand and it's just like, take whatever you want? No, they're unmanned. Just leave, like, here's a little lockbox and put your money in it. These are relics gone by of old world America where we trusted each other, where we had similar backgrounds, similar faiths, similar values, a similar desire to live in a safe and clean society. That is America First. That's America. It's very simple. It's the kind of society that everybody wants to live in. A high trust society is a society that everyone wants to live in. But we keep importing by the millions low trust people here from low trust societies. I don't know them. I'm not judging their souls. I'm just saying their societies are low trust. And so that's going to change. It's going to be an awesome future. It's going to be amazing. We are encouraged, obviously, and enlivened this morning by the, by what's happening in this nation. We're going to get that good energy back, ladies and gentlemen. President Trump. Last night, and boys, I want to go through Trump's speech last night and how he tricked the press into covering his greatest accomplishments. Then we're going to do our own top 10 list. First, ladies and gentlemen, top 10, top 50% of America has high blood pressure. 120 Life is a way to alleviate that. It's a blend of 5 all-natural ingredients that take the guesswork out of what should I be eating or drinking in order to lower my blood pressure. Obviously, I have very high blood pressure. You know this if you watch the stream often. This is something that it runs in the family, right? Runs in a lot of families. So I solve this in part. Exercise, sunshine, time with my kids, and then eating right. 120 Life is how I do that. This is how you can lower your blood pressure naturally, and it's delicious. So nearly half the country has high blood pressure. This Christmas season, take it seriously. Go to 120life, 120life.com, 120life, and use my code Benny for 20% off. Try it risk-free for 2 weeks. Your blood pressure doesn't go down, you get a full refund. Nothing to lose except your high blood pressure. Use code Benny for 20% off today. Okay. Here we go. Trump gives service members Christmas gift, the Warrior Dividend. So we all thought that we were going to war. Everybody teased out, Tucker Carlson teased out, no, you don't understand. Trump's going to announce war tonight. That's what Tucker said. He's announcing war tonight. And so everybody took the speech live from President Trump, and instead President Trump, flanked by a bunch of Christmas trees and shiny Christmas ornaments at the White House, decided to just do a 17-minute rampage about how kick-ass his administration is. It's really funny. So President Trump, ALX has some of the top lines here. Let's start here with reverse migration, something that we've been talking about. Off the dome, this is how he fixed the American economy. Let's go.
A major factor in driving up housing costs was the colossal border invasion. We have never been invaded. This is the worst thing that, frankly, in my opinion, the worst thing that the Biden administration did to our country is the invasion at the border. The last administration and their allies in Congress brought in millions and millions of migrants and gave them taxpayer-funded housing while your rent and housing costs skyrocketed. Over 60% of growth in the rental market came from foreign migrants. At the same time, illegal aliens stole American jobs and flooded emergency rooms, getting free health care and education paid for by you, the American taxpayer. They also increased the cost of law enforcement by numbers so high that they are not even to be mentioned. For the first time in 50 years, we are now seeing reverse migration as migrants go back home, leaving more housing and more jobs for Americans. In the year before my election, all net creation of jobs was going to foreign migrants. Since I took office, 100% of all net job creation has gone to American-born citizens. 100%.
100% of new job creation has gone to American citizens. We've talked about core inflation. We talked about the prices going down. Obviously, gasoline. There's only a finite amount of gasoline on the planet. The more people that are here using free government money to buy gas, the higher the gas price goes up. The more you restrict the research and development and extraction of that gas, the higher the gas prices. The vast majority of this whole war that they're going to plan with Venezuela is obviously over gas, LMAO. But it is true. American companies developed all of the gas industry in Venezuela, which is gigantic, one of the biggest in the world. And then the communists seized all that gas infrastructure, seized it from American companies, kicked the Americans out. They're complete dirtbags, these people. And at the very least, we should go take that back because it's ours. Screw you. Seriously, screw you, communists. But man, it's going to be a beautiful thing. If you have low gas prices, shout them out in the comments. We did this last night, and it was very encouraging to people. We're gonna put up people's gas prices on screen. We have some more Trump clips, but while we were going through some of these fun Trump clips from last night, as Trump trolled the media, thinking that they were all going to war, Trump trolls the media into covering him last night. We're gonna play those clips, but I want you to shout out how low your gas prices are. I was driving to work today, and I was looking at gas prices. Look at this. Here's Wyatt Earp at $2. Look at that. Look, dude, are you in Kansas? Lower than $2 in Kansas? That's insane, Lucas. $1.97 in Kansas. $1.89. That is unbelievable. Matt made things. Where you live, Matt? Where is gas $1.89? I was about to brag that where I live in Tampa in Florida, that it's like hovering around $2 right now. It's like $2 and change. That's crazy. All the people are like seriously, all the people on like life, everybody in California on life support right now. $2.73 in New Jersey. New Jersey has extremely high gas prices and a ton of gas taxes, but still, that's a pretty right. Isn't that a great number for New Jersey? New Jersey, you can't even pump your own gas. It's a rule. Somebody has to pump the gas for you. $1.97 in Lubbock, Texas. Mickey Collins. That's nuts, Mickey. $1.97. Oklahoma, $1.89. Okay, I can do this all show. We're gonna keep it rolling. We're gonna keep putting up your gas prices right here on the screen. Ding, ding, ding. We're gonna put up your gas prices. Keep them rolling. That's nuts. Oklahoma. They Love Charlie. We're such a massive fan. We're such massive fans of They Love Charlie. Thank you. This is such an amazing account. I hope to meet you someday. It's such like a good, great community that we have built here. 169 in Colorado Springs. Are you seeing that from Vonnie Darling? Vonnie, that is insane. I'm so jealous of you. Again, I was about to brag about like 230, 220 here in Florida. That's wild. Did you ever think you'd see gas in the $1 range ever again in your lifetime? This is so awesome. 185 in Colorado, man. Is Colorado just have really low gas taxes? Or do they have do they have like extraction there? I know that there's obviously a lot of natural resources in Colorado. Something's going right in Colorado. I know there's a bunch of like total libs and communists that run the state, but nonetheless, we're going to keep it rolling as we get through these Trump comments, okay? Keep your gas prices up. I want people to be encouraged. Talk all you want about core CPI and talk all you want about Trump economy and the numbers and everything like that. That's great. I'll show you all the graphs. This is all that matters right here. Look at that. Dahlia Flores says 209. So that's real. I mean, listen, that's really cheap. I'm not sure where Dahlia lives. Or Dahlia, yeah. Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. 249 in Northeast Iowa from Duke. John Wayne from Iowa too. 249, Northeast Iowa. That's great. Obviously Iowa should be lower than that. But I have a fond memory of seeing gas at 99 cents once in Iowa as I was growing up in Iowa. So let's go. Let's freaking go. Okay. We're keeping the gas prices going on screen, giving encouragement. Trump saying we're going to get the Somalis out. Speaking of Iowa, a lot of Somalis very close to Iowa there on the border with Minnesota. Trump saying, nope, we're done here. And I just saw 199 in Indiana. I saw Indiana 199 in Oklahoma. Boy, Oklahoma, Texas, Indiana, and Colorado are cleaning up in the sub $2 gas prices. Screw all the numbers in the charts. Sorry for my rant here. Screw all the numbers in the charts. That's real money. That's how you win. No one cares. Trump said a naughty word. Trump had a mean tweet. Whatever. No one cares. It's Trump. That's real life. This is real life. Come on, Texas. We can do better than that. 183 at a Colorado Walmart. Come on, Carol. Donald Trump on Somalis. Let's go.
In the end, government either serves the productive, patriotic, hardworking American citizen, or it serves those who break the laws, cheat the system, and seek power and profit at the expense of our nation. Look at Minnesota, where Somalians have taken over the economics of the state and have stolen billions and billions of dollars from Minnesota and indeed from the United States of America. And we're going to put an end to it. For so long as before my election, the vast majority of good and decent Americans were forced to watch as corrupt politicians plundered the halls of power, exploited our taxpayers, and pillaged every system that makes civilized society function. But not anymore, and you see that every day. Not anymore.
Beautiful. What's this gas money going to be spent on? Man, I'm seeing everything rolling in. Look at Arkansas. Arkansas coming in below $2. Here's the gas markets for you. If you are below $2 a gallon, man, you are living in the golden era. You are entering the golden era. Below $2 a gallon, what does that mean? That's unbelievable. That's gassing up your whole tank for $30. Depends the car that you have, but like, right? 12-gallon tank? That's like unbelievable. $2 in Louisiana, hovering right around the $2 mark. Look at all these incredible prices. Finally, we got a sub $2 a gallon in Fort Worth, Texas. I bet. This is from Janet Crenshaw. This is amazing. And Indiana coming in strong as well. Okay, here we go. Indiana's senators should have voted to change their districts, idiots. President Trump saying, I'm going to give our military a bonus for Christmas. This was probably the top line takeaway news. This was new news. Everybody thought that Trump would be announcing he's going to war. Instead, he's announcing that he's sending Christmas checks to all of our active duty service members. Let's go.
Along with the just passed One Big Beautiful Bill, tonight I am also proud to announce that more than 1,450,000, think of this, 1,450,000 military service members will receive a special, we call Warrior Dividend before Christmas, a Warrior Dividend. In honor of our nation's founding in 1776, we are sending every soldier $1,776. Think of that. And the checks are already on the way. Nobody understood that one until about 30 minutes ago. We made a lot more money.
Man, that's amazing. Here's Shreveport, Louisiana. Okay. Come on, Kansas. You're on your way from Pat Schenkel. Kansas is on its way. 210 in Kansas. Where you at? Wichita? Okay. Okay, so Texas still hovering in like the two. That's around where I am right now. 219. I saw 220 this morning. So this is between Abilene and Midland, Texas. Ooh, that should be a lot lower, right? Isn't that where all the oil comes from? Look at this, 199 south of Houston. Let's freaking go. Amazing. All right, Amanda. I got a good one for you here. It's Pete Hegseth announcing this morning that, that wasn't just like Trump. That wasn't just Trump talk. We are sending these dividends to you. They've actually already been sent. The Warrior Dividend from our tariffs, our American service members. Do you understand that like the starting salary for an American service member is minimum wage? So, I mean, like, ain't nobody getting rich in that profession. They just have rich souls. They have rich personhood. They have rich spirits. They just wish to serve. Most of these people are making $40,000, $50,000 a year. And that's sort of in line. Like, I think $30,000 a year is like poverty. That's sort of in line with like minimum wage. And so a Warrior Dividend makes huge difference. Here's Pete Hegseth making that point.
1776. As you know, our great nation was founded in the crucible of revolution in that year. Now, as we enter the Christmas season some 250 years later, we are proud to provide 1776 with a whole new modern meaning for our joint force. As he announced to the nation last night, thanks to President Trump's unwavering commitment to our warriors and the provisions provided in the One Big Beautiful Bill, more than 1.45 million service members will, in the coming days, receive a one-time tax-free bonus of $1,776. This has never happened before. Every member of our military, E1 to 06. We're calling it the Warrior Dividend, a direct investment in the brave men and women who carry on the legacy of our armed forces every single day. This Warrior Dividend serves as yet another example of how the War Department is working to improve the quality of life for our military personnel and their families. I can think of no better Americans to receive this check right before Christmas. Whether it's for pay, housing, face support, all elements of what we're doing are to rebuild our military. So to the American warrior, President Trump and I and the entire War Department, we have your back. We thank you for your service, and we thank you for your sacrifice. We love you and your families, and we wish you a very Merry Christmas.
Come on.
17.
Let's go. That's awesome. Man, I saw a comment that was really incredible. It was someone from New York. And New York has insane gas taxes. And they said, I just filled up for $2.83. $2.83 in New York is wild, boys. Here we go. Okay, let's just see one more from Dennis Allen. $1.98 a gallon in Richmond, Texas. But damn, I remember paying $1.29. Oh, I remember paying just a couple when I was stationed. So 12 cents? Is that 12 cents a gallon? When I was stationed in Randolph Air Force Base in the 1970s, the average back then was 16 cents a gallon, and reassigned to Spain, paying 16 cents a gallon. Jimmy Carter screwed up Iran and prices increased 70 cents a gallon. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's when 70 cents really was worth 70 cents. Now they got rid of the penny, right? Yeah, good point. Looks like Texas coming in strong. Texas coming in strong, very close to below $1 or below $1. It's awesome. Keep them flowing, baby. I got more clips for you. Trump, we have invested $18 trillion in ya nation. Go.
This historic trend will continue. Already, I've secured a record-breaking $18 trillion of investment into the United States, which means jobs, wage increases, growth, factory openings, and far greater national security. Much of this success has been accomplished by tariffs. My favorite word, tariffs, which for many decades have been used successfully by other countries against us, but not anymore. Companies know that if they build in America, there are no tariffs, and that's why they're coming home to the USA in record numbers. They're building factories and plants at levels we haven't seen, AI, automobiles. We're doing what nobody thought was even possible, not even remotely possible. There has never, frankly, been anything like it. 1 year ago, our country was dead. We were absolutely dead. Our country was ready to fail, totally failed. Now, we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. And that's said by every single leader that I've spoken to over the last 5 months.
What did we say, baby? What did we say? Big, beautiful bill plus tariffs. Every single company on earth responds to carrot and stick. That's the two things, the carrot and the stick. Big, beautiful bill is the carrot. Okay, you're gonna get a ton of tax breaks if you bring your companies and your workers back here. The stick is the tariff. The stick is if you try and ship your garbage in here by outsourcing and destroying American industry and manufacturing, then you're gonna get a pretty penalty on it, especially if you're shipping in from our enemies. It's awesome. And this is how you reinvent. This is how you fix it. They were wrong about tariffs. They were wrong. They said the tariffs would be hyperinflationary, that the tariffs would cause 20% inflation. And now we're seeing the lowest inflation ever. And look at these gas prices. In Virginia, it's $2.50. Thank you, Christine. You got gas prices here. In Tyler, Texas. So you got Arkansas gas prices a little higher. Come on, Sarah Sanders. But in Tyler, Texas, $1.92. Thank you. Thank you. I didn't see the username there. $2.48 in Massachusetts. Whoa. Alex lives in Massachusetts. And in Missouri, I mean, $2.48 is a great price in Massachusetts, right? And President Trump talking about the peace that he is, I mean, this is obviously very important economically. I'm sick, frankly, I'm sick and tired of all the focus internationally, but that's just the job of the president. If you shut down all the wars, that's less money we have to spend abroad. That's more money we can spend here. That's good for the economy. Here's President Trump on peace.
We're deporting criminals, restoring safety to our most dangerous cities. Just take a look at Washington, D.C. It's at levels of safety that we've never seen before. And they decimated the bloodthirsty foreign drug cartels. We did that all by ourselves with our people, and we're so proud of it because they were poisoning and destroying our population. Drugs brought in by ocean and by sea are now down 94%. We have broken the grip of sinister woke radicals in our schools, and control over those schools is back now in the hands of our great and loving states, where education belongs. After rebuilding the United States military in my first term, and with the addition we are adding right now, we have the most powerful military anywhere in the world, and it's not even close. I've restored American strength, settled 8 wars in 10 months, destroyed the Iran nuclear threat, and ended the war in Gaza, bringing for the first time in 3,000 years peace to the Middle East, and secured the release of the hostages, both living and dead.
Good. I don't care about it in so much as I care about my country, and that's good for my country. No more foreign wars, no more foreign entanglements, no more focus on some other nation while our nation collapses. Obviously, don't care about Ukraine. Don't care. Don't care about Gaza. Don't care about Israel. Don't care. Don't care. Somebody asked me at an event yesterday. Like I was on a some reporter comes up and is like, I am from the UAE. What do you think about the UAE? I was like, I don't care. I just don't care. Has he got camels there? What do you got? Doesn't matter to me. Merry Christmas. Are you allowed to say Merry Christmas there? I don't know. You get killed? Don't care. It's not my nation. It's not my country. So, you know, these are just other countries. They're not as good as my country. My country's better than your country. And this is where I'm going to raise my kids. So this is all I care about. That's it. Does that offend you? It doesn't matter. The burning building, I'm going to go save my kids. If there's 1,000 people in a burning building, I'm going to save my kids and make sure every one of my kids is safe before I even think about anybody else. Like, even think about it. And then I'll like triple check on my kids. That's just that's just an immoral and orderly life. That's that's Christian doctrine. That's doctrinal. So that's all I care about. So Trump shutting down the wars, good. That means we're not going to get entangled in them. Good. All right. Now focus on America. And that's what President Trump did to close out his speech here. Again, it's really funny because he's tricking people. He tricked all the corporate media into covering this, so it's live on every single channel. And ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Trump just absolutely bodying Biden and Obama.
I was elected in a landslide, winning the popular vote and all 7 swing states and everything else, with a mandate to take on a sick and corrupt system that really just took the wealth from people and crushed the dreams of the American people. For the last 4 years, the United States was ruled by politicians who fought only for insiders, illegal aliens, career criminals, corporate lobbyists, prisoners, terrorists, and above all, foreign nations, which took advantage of us at levels never seen before. They flooded your cities and towns with illegal aliens. They decimated your hard-earned savings. They indoctrinated your children with hate for America. They just released a level of violent felons that we had never seen to prey on innocent. They caused war. They caused mayhem. They caused a horrible situation all over the globe. But now you have a president who fights for the law-abiding, hardworking people of our country, the ones who make this nation run, who make this nation work. And after just 1 year, we have achieved more than anyone could have imagined.
Ashley, the amazing Ashley, who lives in Philadelphia, just sent me this. And I just want to say thank you, Geodis, Geodude 316. $3.21. That's actually the highest gas price I've seen so far, except for the California gas prices, which I think are in the $5. In Pennsylvania, our governor sucks. Every time I go to Pennsylvania, all I see is fracking stations. Everywhere. There's an enormous amount of natural gas. There's an enormous amount of actual fuel in Pennsylvania. Why does Pennsylvania have such garbage gas prices? Why'd you do it? It sucks. Pennsylvania's got to go red, man. Pennsylvania, we got a Florida or Pennsylvania. Ooh, look at that. In PA, $3.35. Man, say a prayer this Christmas for people in PA. There's a $1 a gallon tax. $1 a gallon. Criminal. Criminal, ladies and gentlemen. You want to talk about not eating all of those toxic oils. Let's talk really quickly here about masa chips. As Trump is cooking, you should be cooking with masa chips. Masa chips are the chip of the Johnson household. They are available at every single dinner that we have. The reason why is because they are all natural, made of just 3 ingredients, no seed oils. Masa chips, they don't make you feel bloated or gross. You can like snack them. They actually make you feel full and satiated because it's just corn and salt and beef tallow. It's delicious. Again, available in a ton of different flavors. Perfect for snacking, New Year's Eve, Christmas morning. These are really good chips, okay? They're made by really good people. They're available at Sprouts Markets, or you can order them. Give Masa a try, masachips.com/Benny. Use the code Benny for 25% off your first order. masachips.com/Benny. Use code Benny for 25% off your first order. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Ashley is griping about the prices of gas in Pennsylvania. Say a prayer. Prayers up for Pennsylvania. Prayers up for Joe Biden and Barack Obama, who got completely and totally bodied at the White House by President Trump with these new plaques. I just tried to cover them really, really quickly because they make me laugh. You obviously have seen the auto pen portrait at the White House, but President Trump affixed plaques to the bottom of these portraits. I don't know. Do we have Kateland Collins like trotting through the White House, griping about this and sneering about this? I know that was like a funny video. That was going viral. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Barack Obama's Smithsonian-style plaque, Donald Trump, put under his portrait. Barack Hussein Obama. Surprised he just didn't go with Hussein Obama. Was the first black president, a community organizer, and a one-term senator. One of the most divisive political figures in American history. This is, by the way, melted into metal and pewter at the White House in gold lettering in giant plaques. It's so awesome. As president, he passed the highly ineffective, unaffordable CARE Act, resulting in his party losing control of the Houses and in Congress in the election, the largest House Republican majority since 1946. He presided over a stagnant economy, approved the terrible Iran nuclear deal, and signed the one-sided Paris Climate Accords, both of which were later terminated by Donald Trump. Okay, let's continue. Plaque number 2. These are like Truth Socials printed out, IRL. Under Obama, the ISIS caliphate spread across the Middle East and Libya, collapsed into chaos. Russia invaded and took Crimea and Ukraine. He crippled small businesses, crushing regulation and environmental red tape, devastated American coal miners, and weaponized the IRS and federal bureaucracy against his political opponents. Obama also spied on the 2016 presidential campaign of Donald Trump and presided over the creation of the Russia hoax, the worst political scandal in American history. His hand-picked successor, Hillary Rodham Clinton, would then lose to Donald Trump. Okay. But real quick here. Sleepy Joe Biden. So the Sleepy Joe Biden plaque. Sleepy Joe Biden was by far the worst president in American history. Taking office as a result of the most corrupt election ever seen in the United States, Biden oversaw a series of unprecedented disasters that brought our nation to the brink of destruction. His policies caused the highest inflation ever recorded in the U.S. dollar to lose more than 20% of its value in 4 years. His Green New scam surrendered American energy dominance. By abolishing the southern border, Biden let in 21 million people from all over the world to pour into the United States, including from prisons, jails, mental institutions, and insane asylums. His Afghanistan disaster was among the most humiliating events in American history, resulting in the murder of 13 brave American service members, with many others gravely wounded. Seeing Biden's devastating weakness, Russia invaded Ukraine. Hamas terrorists launched the October 7th attacks. Nicknamed both Sleepy and Crooked, Joe Biden was dominated by his radical left handlers, and all their allies in the fake news media attempted to cover up his severe mental decline and his unprecedented use of the autopen. Following his humiliating debate and loss to President Trump in the big June 2024 debate, he was forced to withdraw from his campaign for re-election in disgrace. Biden weaponized law enforcement against his political opponents while also prosecuting many innocent people. He left office issuing blanket pardons for radical Democrats, criminals, and thugs, as well as members of the Biden crime family. But despite it all, President Trump would get reelected and save America.
Joe Biden is very much alive.
I love that clip. Oh, it's so good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, God is good. Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, so those are brand new. That's brand new. Slapped onto the White House today. It's just freaking great. Okay. Should we do ALX? Should we do the top 10? Should we rip roar through the top 10 favorite moments of the year? I think so. We even have a stinger for it. We'll go fast. We'll go quick here. These are my favorite top 10 moments of the year. We have some awesome. Yeah, there is a stinger that's been sent. Hold on, Klein's getting it. Jerry's good, man. We have a stinger, and we're going to go through very quickly our favorite top 10 moments of the year. And getting it sent over to Klein. We're not doing it without the stinger. We're not going to do it. We got a professional show here. Okay, we have a professional show. As Klein loads up the stinger, let me just hop on down here. As Klein is getting our stinger loaded up. I first met Klein on a online site called ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter is how I find so many of the top talent that works here. We have 20 employees that work here at the company. We're very proud of that. We're very proud of the team that we built. We're very proud of this independent media company. There's virtually no such thing as an independent media company anymore at scale, and ZipRecruiter has helped us find and source excellent top talent. And it's tough to hire in this profession. There's a lot of libs. There's a lot of people that would never want to work for channels like ours, and we thank you for supporting us. It has been a godsend. Our team here is a godsend. Also, we're able to sift through the resumes that we get, and we do get thousands of resumes. ZipRecruiter helps us do this with powerful matching technology, advanced resume database of top candidates so that we can find people fast. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know right away how many qualified candidates are in your area, look no further than ZipRecruiter. 4 out of 5 employers post ZipRecruiter get a qualified candidates within the first day, sometimes within the first hour. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/Benny. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/Benny, the smartest way to hire. Okay. Good? Yeah. Let's go. Let's freaking go. Yeah. There you go. Destroyed Klein's Christmas there. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The top 10 moments from the last year. Let's freaking go. That's corny. That was corny. That's fine. Whatever. You know what? You got to take what you can get. That was local news corny though. I wanted something like completely freaking. I wanted something epic. Okay, whatever. You know what was epic? That I had a kid. My wife had a kid, but we together as a married couple had a. Oh, that's nice. What's that? Whatever that is, that's weird. Okay, now the teams are all sending in their favorite top 10s. Maybe we can get one. Here we go. Yeah, maybe we can get one by the end. Jerry, your challenge is to get me an epic Trump-themed top 10 by the end of our countdown here. All right. We spent Inauguration Day in the hospital because we were welcoming our 4th child. Ladies and gentlemen, this is baby Whitaker, and he was born on Inauguration Day. He was actually, I think, like the first Trump baby, in fact. So this is a golden era baby, and he's able to. Okay, so so I think he gets one of these Trump accounts. It's pretty awesome. Golden era baby, born literally within the hours of Trump getting sworn in as our president on January 20, 2025. Here you go.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Inauguration Day. The golden era began early for the Johnson family with the arrival of Whitaker Edward Johnson at 4:27 a.m. this morning. My wife and I have been at the hospital and will be here with our brand new baby boy, and we could not be more thrilled. We are joining you in spirit and will be watching along, but the live will be anchored by our trusted team here, and we planned for this possibility, and, well, who could have predicted? We became the meme. We
became the meme. We had the golden baby, the golden era baby. For our golden baby, baby Whitaker is doing great, by the way. Baby Whitaker just went to the White House for the first time this week. It was awesome. President Trump was sworn in. Here is that moment.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
That I will faithfully execute.
That I will faithfully execute.
The office of President of the United States.
The office of President of the United States.
And will, to the best of my ability.
And will, to the best of my ability.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
Come on, boys. You got Barron Trump talking shit to Joe Biden. I mean, it did happen. This is it. This is Barron Trump going up to Joe Biden, and I think this is dubbed. You can hear like what he says, right? He's like, "Game on, old man." Let's listen. Whoa. I thought that, no, okay. I don't think it's dubbed. Okay. So hold on. It was, he goes, game on, right? ALX, you are the Barron Trump expert. And then Melania says, be nice afterwards. Team producers, I'm going to need you to crack on this. Hold on. I saw a dubbed one where like, it's Barron Trump coming in and saying to Joe Biden, like, game on, old man, which is what I think happened. And then Melania scolds him for not being nice. All right. Come on, producers. Whatever. We'll jump back to it. I want that. I want the dubbed one where like you could let the lip readers can clearly see what Barron Trump's saying. Barron Trump talking smack to Joe Biden under his breath. Elon Musk not speaking under his breath. Elon Musk's speech totally and completely epic. Right into my veins. Here we go.
Yes! This is what victory feels like. Yeah! And this was no ordinary victory. This was a fork in the road of human civilization. Okay. This you know, there are elections that come and go. Some elections are, you know, important, some are not. But this one this one really mattered. And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you. My heart goes out to you. It is thanks to you that the future of civilization is assured. Thanks to you. We're going to have safe cities, finally, safe cities.
Elon Musk's speech is... Come on, you want that energy back. Okay, we have the 18-second clip of the lip reader with Barron Trump saying like what's going on here. Let's listen.
When he leans into Biden here, he says it's on. Okay? And then when he goes up to Melania, she says, try to be nice. See? And he says, okay. But she doesn't really know what he had said to him. And then he turns back and looks back at Biden.
It's so awesome. Look at this. Look at Biden's face when Barron Trump goes and says it's on. It's so good. All right, whatever, man. It's so awesome. It began immediately with President Trump changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. An epic moment. Here we go.
Flying right over it right now. So we thought this would be appropriate. Even bigger than the Super Bowl. This is a big thing. And almost everybody now has assented to that.
Attention on board. Ladies and gentlemen, if you could please direct your attention out the right side of the aircraft. Air Force One is currently in international waters for the first time in history, flying over the recently renamed Gulf of America. Please enjoy the flight, and we are now about to head westbound to Super Bowl 59.
Wow, he did that well.
Wow, he did. So awesome. So President Trump obviously renaming the Gulf of America. Awesome. This is like, again, a era of American dominance. We are not going to go softly or quietly into the night. We're not going to disappear like every other empire after 250 years. And this is how you continue empire dominance. Also, you tell all your little vassal states that are behaving like little bitches that they need to toughen up. And we're in charge. And that is exactly what they did in their first Zelensky meeting. Here we go.
From the beginning. Sure. First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
That.
You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering
position
on
to
this
dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly
this.
I'm not
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. But right now, you don't. Yeah, you're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's back to you. Far more than a lot of people said they should have.
America was back in that moment. And that is our third favorite moment of the top 10. Here we go. The Putin flyover is our fourth. And again, American dominance when President Trump shocked and I think scared just a little bit Putin with a epic flyover here. Let's get some audio. B-2 bombers, F-22 Raptors. Putin like, oh. Didn't know. Amazing. President Trump at Alligator Alcatraz. Come on, man. Alligator Alcatraz, Gulf of America, the Putin flyover. We went there, actually, with President Trump for the first time. Here we go.
Welcome to Alligator Alcatraz. The entrance here is a 30-foot tall wall. None of this was here 5 days ago. It's got razor wire on the top. Just unbelievably impressive what the state of Florida has done here. Over my shoulder is the actual facility. As you can see, we'll be entering soon. This is the entry gate for Alligator Alcatraz.
Okay. It was an amazing event. We got to ask Trump a bunch of questions. It is a nasty place. I've never been bitten by more mosquitoes in my life. There were literally, look at that. You can see like the amount of mosquitoes that were biting and attacking me in this moment. Nasty place to be. This is just like because of the memes, the camel motorcade, the camelcade, one of our favorite things that ever happened, that President Trump got a camel motorcade with a bunch of camels when he was in Qatar. And I think that's freaking awesome. That's President Trump. And here's the camel motorcade that Trump got. Okay? Not particularly like important to American history, or is it the most important thing in American history? I don't know, dude, but I'm telling you that I like the camel motorcade. Trump signing the big beautiful bill. We've obviously described exactly why this is so critically important and what's going to happen when the big beautiful bill comes into law on January 1. And then also, you know, can't talk about Trump term 1 without talking about prices and mass deportations. Mass deportations, check this out. Negative foreign-born growth in America. Foreign-born population declined by 2.2 million this year. First time in your lifetime or mine. So freaking awesome. Look at that. And this is about to accelerate in the extreme. That is fixing our country. And as we've talked about, the prices of eggs, gas, groceries, these things are starting to collapse and collapse rapidly. You can see here. Egg prices, remember when that was like, everyone was freaking out about egg prices? Look at that. And then, you know, obviously gas prices we've been talking about the entire show. Gas prices, let's go ahead and look here. Average national gas price. You can see the blue is Biden, the red is Trump, and you can see the trends, where the trends are heading. Sweet. And according anecdotally to this audience, the trends are heading like towards the $2 mark virtually everywhere, and then cratering down to the $1 mark depending on where you're living. So that's awesome. Final thing, the number 10, or number 1, I would say, is Charlie Kirk's memorial. I just have one quick thing to say on this. Given the fact that we're strong allies with Charlie, Turning Point, we're heading to Turning Point right after the show, and that we spoke at the memorial. This is the country that I want to live in. At the memorial was the country I want to live in. You can see the crowd. You can see the people. Millions of people worshiping together in holy Christian harmony and peace, united against evil. And it was in this moment that I think evil decided to try and tear our movement asunder. You've seen, of course, fractures and bad actors and demons, literal demons, like come attack us with every manner of lie, with every manner of like despicable, sick, malicious, defamatory lie and whatever, like attack Turning Point. And we're going to bulldoze them. We are going to bulldoze them directly into the ground. We're not freaking let them do that. We're not freaking let them like take from us what's been built for the kingdom. And so get ready for the fight. America's worth fighting for. Everybody knows that this is the number 1 apostolic event in human history. Billions of people were exposed to this memorial and saw this memorial, given the technological and social media impressions. Hundreds of millions and billions of people saw it, hundreds of thousands in real life here at this beautiful stadium. And so, again, it was our absolute and total honor to speak at this event. and to witness at this event. And it is the purpose that we will carry into 2026. Speaking and witnessing and speaking power through the name of Christ Jesus for the salvation of this country. And this is exactly what they want to steal from you. We're not going to let it happen. And we're going to keep fighting. Was that a throw? We're going to keep fighting? Why not? Here's just a little clip. Here's why.
In Romans 13, the Apostle Paul talks about a godly government instituted by our Lord and Savior. And what does he describe? The Apostle Paul describes how God establishes the rulers of the nations. In the audience right now, there are rulers of our land. Represented right here is the State Department, the Department of War, the Department of Justice, the Chief Executive. God has instituted them. God has given them power over our nation and our land. God saved our president, President Trump, from an assassin's bullet for this moment. And what does the Apostle Paul in Romans say about godly leadership? He says that rulers wield the sword for the protection of good men and for the terror of evil men. May we pray that our rulers here, rightfully instituted and given power by our God, wield the sword for the terror of evil men in our nation in Charlie's memory.
I want them to do that. Please do that. Okay, I want to see more door kicking. I want to see more Antifa arrests. But ladies and gentlemen, that has been our top 10 of the year. And we're like just deeply thankful for your prayers. We're deeply thankful for your support through this year. It's been a wild one. And we're ready to go for 2026. And we're also ready to go for some of our honored guests this morning, including Representative from the great state of Tennessee, Andy Ogles, who has some news to break on the program this morning, an absolute dominant force inside of Congress. It's our honor to have him back on the program. Congressman, what's up, dude? Hey, we were doing our top 10. Thank you for your patience and getting to you today. I have a question for you about President Trump's speech last night. I'm sure you were watching. He was talking about denaturalization and getting rid of the terroristic element in our country. He talked also about the Somali community. And I wanted to know, how is Congress going to help out with that? I think you have a couple plans.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, we've got to acknowledge there are certain religions, certain cultures that they don't work here. They're incompatible with the West, with the United States of America. If that sounds like political rhetoric, if it sounds like I'm being mean, just look at Europe, look at Paris, look at London, look at Rome, where in Rome, 60% of the pickpockets are migrants, most of which are Muslim. The vast majority of sexual assaults are migrants, most of them Muslim. You look at Sweden, where migrants are 10 to 12% of the population, but 80% of the sexual assaults. Enough. And then you come to the States, where you see the same type of data in Minneapolis. You see it outside of Detroit. And then in Nashville, where a woman was raped to death on the steps of a church by whom? A Somali migrant. So we are working diligently to try and get legislation passed to end H-1B visas and, quite frankly, stop all visas and redo the visa program. Before the Hart-Celler Act in 1965, there was a quota system. And if you wanted to come here, you had to be from a compatible country and you had to compete to get here. And then we just opened up the floodgates. And quite frankly, I don't think they even envisioned of the roughly 60 million people that have come here through that process, 90% are from third world countries. They bring nothing to our nation except a drain on our resources. And again, look at the Afghans, the 200,000 that came under Joe Biden, 60% are unemployed. Half of them are on food stamps and Medicaid. And so stop, no more. And I'm proud to work with the president. And quite frankly, President Trump is a change agent. Elon Musk said it best, like we're at this fork in the road in our country. And if we don't acknowledge that and grasp this moment, we're going to look back and think, wow, we lost the republic when Biden took office.
Congressman, should we get rid of Hart-Celler?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We need to go back to a quota system. We need to go back and, again, acknowledge who we want here. And look, there's different seasons. So like you may have a season, and I'm talking about a literal season, but a time where you need more. And I'm just going to throw things out there, like whether it's IT, whether it's ag, whether it's construction, but that's going to be ever changing. So if the market's flooded with folks that want to be electricians, we don't need to be importing electricians. America first means America workers first, right? And so we get to decide who comes in, and we get to decide who has to leave. And right now we have to be bold in that leadership, or we are going to lose the republic the same way that Europe is falling, London is falling, Paris is falling.
Yeah, we can see it from our own State Department saying that we're not sure that we should even be allies with these European countries anymore because of drastic demographic change. And it's looking like Europe maybe is truly fallen, but not America, not yet. But we've got to make some massive changes. I mean, obviously there's a Ugandan Muslim who's in charge of America's capital city, the center of capitalism in our country, which is New York City. You and I were just there for the Young Republicans event, Christmas Eve event. So how do you fix it? I mean, is there an appetite to repeal Hart-Celler in the House?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Part of that is just grinding away and building that coalition and quite frankly, pushing the speaker to be bold and lead on this issue. But, I think the appetite for the American people is there. I think the real challenge is going to be the Senate, getting the Senate to act and be bold. And so there's a movement within Congress. I do believe I was the first to speak about Hart-Celler, about this idea that we have to repeal this. We have to go back to a quota system. And again, but I'm just talking truth, right? I'm just simply relying on the data. So this isn't, I'm not racist. I don't hate other people. And, I'm not against immigration, legal immigration, but I'm simply looking at the data. And if you import the third world country, you end up with cities that turned into third world countries. And again, we've seen it in London. We've seen it in Paris. We see it in Rome. And look, it's not too late for Europe, but they better be bold and aggressive of cleansing their cities and communities with people that quite frankly hate them. Then and only then will they restore their own liberties.
You share a building with Ilhan Omar, who has, very close connections to billions of dollars worth of fraud. The White House is saying that she married her brother and providing documentation. And DHS, I think, is investigating her. What's going to happen to Ilhan Omar?
I have no idea, but you see these patterns, right? You see where you have groups come here, like from Somalia. The latest breaking news is that group out of Haiti, which is nothing more than a criminal enterprise, and we've got to stop. And again, just follow the data. I mean, you and I get called names because we're outspoken and quite frankly, because we're white males. All right, fine. You want to label me whatever you want, but the data speaks for itself. And so if you are colluding with Somalis or Haitians to undermine this country, if you're colluding with those individuals to turn cities into criminal enterprises, then we've had enough. Again, the mayor of Nashville, where he was doxing ICE agents, and the agents were simply doing their job, following the law, following the direction of the Secretary and the President of the United States, and he put them at risk. That's why I called him out. That's why I called out the judges in Nashville that let that Somali go that raped that woman. He had been arrested 21 times. The judges had kicked him out a dozen times. And even now they're talking about invoking Jillian's law, which would essentially send him to a mental hospital instead of prison. So I've reached out to ICE. I've reached out to Homeland. And the moment we can legally grab him, he is going back to his home country. He's going to be deported. He might be crazy, but he can be crazy somewhere else, not here in the United States of America.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We're not your dumping ground for
that's
the
right.
rest of the world, and that's exactly what's been happening. Final question for you, Congressman. What should happen in 2026? This is our last terrestrial show of the year. What do you want to see happening in 2026? Obviously, there's some really great inflation numbers out this morning. There's some pretty dynamic economic news as well. What do you think should happen in 2026, obviously, to save the Republican majority in the House and the Senate? And what are you looking forward to?
I'd say two things. One is what's going to happen. So you have the big, beautiful bill is going to take effect. So no tax on tips and things like that. You see the economic data. So I'm on financial services, which is the nerd committee, but that's banking. I'm on Homeland Security, and I'm chair of the cyber subcommittee. And so what I can tell you is we have a lot of great economic indicators. The president has implemented great policies to really situate us to have a booming spring, which quite frankly has implications in the midterms. And then what we need to do in Congress is to start codifying the president's executive orders, which is what the American people want. We are the House of Representatives. It's the people's house. John Quincy Adams says it's where you argued and you debated. You do the people's work. It's time for us to do the people's work to codify these executive orders, and be damned the Senate. If they're not going to pass it, that's on them. But it's time for the House to lead. It's time for the House to do its job and to pass and codify the president's executive orders.
Is that going to happen? I hear that they're going to be coming up with 150 of them.
Yeah, we're working on it. And, I'm one of the leaders of many conservative leaders here in the House that are aligned with the president, close to the president. But we are grinding away, and we're going to push. And sometimes we have to speak out and kind of go against the grain to get it done. But my job is to make this country better. My job is to help restore and defend this republic. And that's how we do it. The president has laid out a clear path. It's time for us to follow his lead.
It looks, we would love to see that. Obviously, we'd love to see Republicans have some guts and some spine in the House of Representatives, and you certainly are one of them. That very rare breed, Congressman, who's willing to actually speak out, take a stand, stick your neck out there, and do so in a, from an amazing district. Obviously, we've hung out at John Rich's house. Nashville is awesome. It's glad to see I'm just glad to see Van Epps rolling through. And here's to many more years for you in the House. Representative Andy Ogles is such a champion for freedom. Please follow him. Rounding the corner on 100,000 subscribers here on his X account. Fight with the people who fight for us. Godspeed. Merry Christmas.
Thanks. God bless.
Ladies and gentlemen, Eli Crane on deck. He's one of those incredible members of Congress that just have done great work with us and our channel. I just love having reunion shows like this, frankly. And Eli Crane was the guy who I called when I was like, yo, Donald Trump got shot in the head and nobody has any answers. He's like, I'm a Navy SEAL. We can go figure it out. Come with me and we'll go to Butler, Pennsylvania. And that happened days after Donald Trump's would-be assassin. And we were up on that rooftop. It was wild, man. And it's because of Eli Crane. While we were there, we were using our Patriot Mobile device. Our Patriot Mobile service is, well, for patriots only. Christian conservative wireless provider. Butler, Pennsylvania was a very remote place. It's very remote, and it was tough, frankly, to get cell phone service there. Patriot Mobile came in, and in the pinch, was great for us. We go to these remote spots, and I'm just always amazed at the quality of the service of Patriot Mobile. That's because you get the same or better premium coverage on their carriers, unlimited data plans, mobile hotspots, and international roaming. PatriotMobile.com/Benny can set you up with a company that cares about the future of this nation, that cares about Christianity, cares about our First Amendment. 972-PATRIOT. Use the promo code Benny for a free month of service. That's PatriotMobile.com/Benny. 972-PATRIOT. Make the switch today. Ladies and gentlemen, Eli Crane from the great state of Arizona, where we're headed to right after the show. Let's go. My team is saying that they love having you on the program because you have no nonsense warrior aura. That's it. That's what the producers are saying. So I will take that and I will say man, it was great to see that in Butler, Pennsylvania. It'd be great to see that when it comes to preventing more terrorism in our nation. That was terrorism, maybe homegrown. We were standing at the fence line, Congressman, and you were like, what if Iran had just brought a bunch of snipers and just set them up along this fence line? They would have had, you could have had a team of 50 guys here that could have destroyed, our nation, could have destroyed our future. There were 18,000 people on the known terrorist watch list let into this country under Joe Biden. It's suicidal.
Yeah, Benny, thanks for having me on, man. I've only been in Congress for 3 years, but I will tell you that this last week in Homeland Security, when Director Kent from the Center of, Counterterrorism here in the United States came to testify before us, he brought up that statistic and it made me sick to my stomach and it shocked me. 18,000 known or suspected terrorists in the country under Joe Biden, Benny. Many of us were screaming about this during the Biden administration, saying, don't do this. Please shut the border down, secure the visa program. These guys are not stupid. They saw it. We could see it. They most certainly saw it. They knew to exploit it. And now the data is 18,000. And I had Director Kent in my office this morning. I wanted to, ask him some more questions about this. And Benny, the thing that he said to me that, compounded the shock factor was he said, and those are just the ones that we know of, Benny. Okay, I want to remind you and your audience, it took 19 operators to pull off 9/11, who I will remind you shared the same ideology as these 18,000. I asked Joe Kent to unpack that number for myself and other members of the Homeland Security Committee, because I was expecting, Benny, he might say, well, 5,000 of them are, from ISIS, Al-Qaeda, other jihadi organizations, and the other, 13,000 of them are, cartel members who are now considered, terrorist members because we just, classified some of these cartels as terrorist organizations. No, Benny, that's not what he said. He said there were 2,000 Afghanis, and then the other 16,000 were from jihadi organizations like ISIS and Al-Qaeda right here in this country. And you know what else is scary, Benny, that he told me? He said, in most cases, we can't even remove these people until they commit a crime. Because of the way that the Democrats orchestrated that invasion and allowed many of them to claim asylum, they now have protection here in the United States until they commit a crime. And he told me this too, Benny. He said, in many cases, even if they do commit a crime, we cannot send them back to their country of origin because of their asylum claims and because we have anti-torture laws. So many of these countries commonly torture their people. And so we're not allowed to send them back to their country of origin. And I just wanted to bring that up to your audience, Benny, because to me, this is the biggest story in the country that is not getting covered. Benny, I'm telling you right now, Americans are going to die. A lot of Americans are going to die. And this could have been completely preventable by not allowing these people in. And once again, Benny, it is death by Democrats. And I hate to make it partisan, but it is. And many of us were screaming and yelling, don't do this, this is foolish. And they wouldn't listen. And now in these briefings where these numbers are being brought up, you can almost see, you can look across the aisle, Benny, you can see all of them with their heads down because they know they caused it. And it is disgusting. And Benny, I'm going to tell you this too. I love Democrats. I love Republicans. I love independents. I don't care what your political affiliation is. I believe that we're all created in God's image, okay? These terrorists don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican or an independent. They don't. They want to come here. They don't want to assimilate. And they want to wreak as much havoc and kill as many Americans as they possibly can. And we have failed the American people. And it makes me sick to my stomach. And it's a slap in the face to every veteran like myself who dropped out of school the week after 9/11 to go join the military, to go fight these guys overseas so we wouldn't have to fight them here.
Yes.
And you know what we were told, Benny? We were told that we will never forget. We will never forget 9/11. We will never forget what happened. Well, I'm going to tell you something, Benny. We not only forgot what happened on 9/11, but we've allowed it to get to this point where you're going to see a lot of 9/11s on U.S. soil because of this. More people need to be talking about this. More people need to know about it. And keep your head on a swivel over the holidays because a lot of these people, they want to target holiday events, Christian events, Christmas events, and it makes me sick to my stomach.
We were covering the National Guard murders and assassination, terrorist attack, and thinking to ourselves just kind of through what hell we've created for service members like yourself who was deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan, or just Iraq, and had to fight this over in these godforsaken hellholes, and had to fight this ideology, this radical Islamist ideology. And then what a bloody insult it is to you and the people you served with, and to those who never came home, that we imported it here so that they could kill easier American troops. And that is precisely what they did just blocks from where your office is in Washington, D.C.
That's right, Benny, because a lot of us are willing to go fight them overseas so that our kids and our grandparents and people in our neighborhoods don't have to face them here. But when you open the border and you open up the visa process to where millions and tens of millions of folks can come in to this country, I am telling you right now, Benny, it is a very scary time in this country. And if you are a Democrat or a Republican or an independent and you supported any of this, whether you are an elected official or you are a voter, you should be disgusted and embarrassed that you allowed this to happen, because it's so obvious, Benny. It is so obvious what is going to happen. And I'm concerned about homegrown terrorism. Charlie Kirk was a friend of both of ours. But these guys are the scariest to me. And if these numbers are right from the National Counterterrorism Center, which I believe they are, because Joe Kent was another patriot who went overseas and was willing to give his life, and his wife actually died at the hands of these folks. I'll believe a guy like that who understands how dangerous these guys are. I just left a think tank meeting with Homeland Security where they brought in a bunch of think tankers, a bunch of people who have never picked up a gun and gone and said, I'll fight these guys so you don't have to. And one of them had the audacity to question Joe Kent's numbers and said, well, I need to take a closer look at those numbers. Let me tell you something, Benny. Even if you reduce his numbers by 90%, you still have way more terrorists in the country than committed 9/11. Okay, so this is the scale of what we're talking about here. And a lot of people have been banging this drum for a long time, people that were willing to go serve our country and fight against these people overseas. And nobody's listened. And now a lot of Americans are going to die. And I hate to bring that kind of message to the American people on your show before the holidays, but it's true. So keep your family safe, keep your head on a swivel. If you can arm yourself, arm yourself. Make sure you know where your local police stations are. Yeah, and just be prepared.
So you're a member of Congress. Obviously, you're saying that there's asylum laws that they were brought here under an anti-torture laws. But like, what was the most popular? We had a pollster on here recently, Congressman from Rasmussen. His name is Mark Mitchell. And he said, actually, the most popular Trump has ever been in this second term, the height of his popularity was when he quoted Napoleon and said, a man who saves his country breaks no law. And that level of energy, where people know that there is an existential threat, people sort of feel this existential dread that something's gone horribly wrong and needs to be fixed, and people want it fixed. And people just don't care if we hurt feelings anymore. I think the vast majority of Americans understand that, sense that. And that's why Republicans are still winning on immigration in a huge margin, still winning on crime in huge margins, winning on the economy in huge margins. They're all connected. So how the hell do you get, what would be the process to get the 20,000 terrorists who are here illegally? What would be the process to send them, the hell back to where they came from, or just out of our country?
Well, according to the conversation that I just had, until they commit a crime, it's going to be very, very difficult. But we're going to
reform asylum laws. Yeah, right. But what needs to happen? What can we help, manifest? Reformation of asylum laws, something retroactive.
Yeah, I mean, there are there are theories out there along those lines. But my main intention of coming on your show was to make sure that this story gets more coverage, and make sure that these lives that we've lost, here in the country and overseas, are not in vain. Because the bottom line is this, Benny, and it's sad. I wish it wasn't the case. I really do, because I really don't care who you pray to. I don't care, where your country of origin was. We don't get to choose where we're born. What I do care is if you come to this country, that you want to assimilate to this country, and that you don't want to harm people because they won't, conform to your religion, or you want to harm people because they've said things that you don't like. That's really my goal, Benny, is that, the next generations of Americans get to grow up with the same levels of freedom and safety that you and I did. And, with the stupidity and the wickedness that is running rampant in this country, it becomes harder to see that as a viable possibility every single day. And as you can tell, I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off because this should have never happened. It should have never been allowed to happen. And, Benny, when I was sitting in one of these classified briefs just yesterday morning, and there was a Democrat who, voted for all of this stuff. And she listened to these numbers, and, her comments were, "Oh my God, I'm terrified. I'm terrified." And then she got up and she left the room. I'm thinking to myself, you should be terrified. You should be terrified, and you should be embarrassed and disgusted because you allowed this to happen, and you didn't say a damn thing about it. You didn't listen to any of us who have actually fought against these folks, who are telling you what's going to happen. And now we know that there's 18,000 known or suspected terrorists in the country. And we're not talking about cartel members. That's another like 30-some thousand that they believe are in the country right here. We're talking about known or suspected terrorism that's ascribed to, jihadism and Islamism. And it's a cancer, bro. I'm telling you right now. Go ahead and date and time stamp this clip right now. If we do not pull our heads out of our rear ends and quit allowing people to come into this country who do not want to assimilate, who view, their religion as higher than U.S. law, you are going to see a lot more Americans dead. And I will not go to my grave as somebody who was afraid to speak the truth and sound the alarm because I was afraid of being labeled. I won't do it. I've lost too many friends overseas. This is a very serious matter, and this should be the number one story in the country right now. It really should, to show the difference between actually having strong leadership with common sense and having a bunch of fools who are a lot more concerned about virtue signaling and not having, being called names. And that's where we're at, Benny.
I think that part of the reason why there is such a heightened alert in the country is because this is being normalized, and people are able to see that the guy, the goblin that killed the National Guardsman in Washington, D.C., that he was just able to come here.
And it's not just that, Benny. I mean, look what's going on in the UK right now. The UK is completely unrecognizable. Look what just happened in Australia.
Yep.
Same names, same groups, same ideology, and we're letting these people into the country by the tens of thousands. You think there's going to be any different outcome here? And you'll have a lot of my leftist friends who will say, well, it's just because they're impoverished, and we just need to give them jobs. No, you don't understand the ideology. You haven't read their spiritual books. You don't understand the ideology. And that's the problem. And there are more members of Congress waking up to it, but I hope the American people are waking up to it. And I hope the American people hold their elected officials responsible for not only what was done in the past, but for policies in the future, because this is going to be the issue right here. Take it to the bank. I would bet on it. This is going to be the issue over the next 10 to 15 years. Will we continue to allow people to come into the country that do not want to assimilate, that want to kill us?
So you serve with a member of Congress that refuses to assimilate, who was called the representative of Somalia by the president of Somalia, somebody who proudly waves Somali flags, someone who says that on 9/11 some people did something, and who's argued before a judge in order to release ISIS members in Minnesota. And that would be Ilhan Omar. And she's now credibly accused of marrying her brother and immigration fraud. What should happen to Ilhan Omar? I mean, it's quite a signal to the community if you can just like defraud America of $1 billion. You know, she clearly was complicit in this. What should happen to your fellow representatives?
Well, you know, Benny, I was really encouraged, you know, a couple of days ago when I saw that Tom Homan himself was going to, you know, be reviewing, you know, her immigration status and whether or not she married her brother. I think we all know she married her brother, even though she, you know, she completely denies it. And so, and the reason that gave me a little bit of hope is because I know Tom Homan a little bit, and I know he's not your political type who wants camera time and wants to sound great. He's a doer. He's an operator. He's a guy. He's a real leader. He's not afraid of what names you call him. He's just going to go out and do his job and try and protect Americans. And I actually have a friend of mine, you know, I have many friends who are in ICE, and I was told a couple of years back that there was an investigation, you know, by ICE into Ilhan Omar's, you know, immigration, marriage years and years ago, but it got squashed. And I'm not surprised based on what I see up in Washington, D.C., but this is exactly the type of thing I'm talking about. We are actually inviting in our own death and destruction, you know, and unless we pull our heads out of our rear ends, like I said, this is going to get a lot worse. And Democrats and Republicans and independents are going to die. And that is not okay with me. It never will be. And that's why I'm so upset, sick, and passionate about this, because I hope the American people wake up. You know, and one thing I challenge you guys to do is there are tens of thousands of videos of these Islamists and these jihadists online talking about exactly what they want to do to this country. You don't have to take my word for it. I don't expect you to take my word for it. Go listen to what they're saying. They will not assimilate to our culture. They will not assimilate to freedom of speech. They will not assimilate to freedom of religion. If you're gay, you know what the penalty is? Death. If you're a woman out there, you know what's going to happen to you? You're going to be treated as property. That's right. You will no longer have the rights that you have right now. And I just want to make sure that people understand what's coming.
We're in favor of a moratorium, probably for the rest of my life, on net zero immigration, and obviously zero immigration from countries that just wouldn't make a good 51st state, which is my rule, right? If you break off the country and add it to the East Coast, would you want to visit that country? No one would want to go visit Somalia or any of these countries that we're taking all these migrants from. So they destroyed their own country. Why are we taking them in to destroy our country? Seems logical. What would you like to see in 2026, Congressman? What would give you, this has been a dark conversation for good reason, what would give you hope in 2026 from the administration, from federal government?
Well, there's a lot of things, Benny. Obviously, I would love to see, you know, starting with these 18,000 that we know about, I would love to see these guys removed as quickly as humanly possible. I do think that there are some good things coming down the pipe, you know, with what the Trump administration has been pushing as far as tax relief, you know, for American citizens. I also think because of his tariff policies, you're going to see some of these manufacturing plants and companies that are moving back into the company where it's an auto manufacturer, you know, a chip manufacturer, whatever. I think you're going to see these, you know, manufacturing sites be stood up. Those take a lot of time, but they're going to bring a lot of jobs. They're going to support the local economy. And so I really do believe, with the guest that you had before me, my colleague Andy Ogles, I think that next year is going to be a pretty amazing year for the U.S. economy. And so I'm looking forward to that. But, you know, just from my background, safety for Americans, you know, regardless of their political standing, that's always going to be a big deal to me. And so we've got to get these folks out of this country, you know, and it's got to be a top priority.
Yes. Well, we look forward to Congress taking some direct action on that, and thank you for helping pass the big beautiful bill, because that provided, I think, $500 billion in deportation funds to DHS, and that's critical. You're going to obviously see those deployed, and that's how you save the country. And it's going to cost money, but it's going to cost us a lot more if we just allow 20,000 terrorists to roam free in our nation. Thank you for that important warning around Christmas time. We are always thankful for our warrior class in this nation, something that is that we have that very few nations actually still have. Eli Crane is among them. Please follow Eli Crane right here on his congressional account. He has 150,000 subscribers. Here he's from the great state of Arizona. We'll see you in Arizona, Congressman. Godspeed and Merry Christmas.
Thanks, brother.
Okay. Well, you know what? Scorching hot take. Critical from Eli Crane. Again, member of the warrior class, somebody who knows of what he speaks. And was clearly really pissed off there. He was clearly upset because, well, these are the kind of things that destroy nations. If you have 20,000 terrorists here, like, how are you supposed to function? How are you supposed to have a functional nation? You can't. So listen to him. I think that clip's going to go viral. It's a pretty urgent warning there. And it can't all be good news. But we don't want to see these terrorist attacks. We're obviously seeing an acceleration of assassination culture, of terroristic culture in this country and around the world. And in Christmas time, obviously a holy holiday for us Christians, is going to be there. It's going to accelerate. So let's put an end to it, right? You can stay in your own, you can stay in your own country and do whatever you want. You have no right to come here. Ladies and gentlemen, scorching hot takes from Eli Crane. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to have a not so hot, but rather warm sauna blanket, then I got a product for you. It's called Bond Charge. It's an infrared sauna blanket, and it is so very good at detoxifying, helping you and your body recover in a season where there is a flu. I've had a itchy throat for months now, and my sauna blanket helps me honestly, I've missed a single show. So it helps us keep going. It's been so good. Obviously, during the winter months, virtually everywhere gets a lot less sunshine. When I head out of the studio, I see nothing but dark skies, right? The sun sets around here at 5:30. So yeah, you need that red light. It's healing. It's good for you. It releases endorphins. It gets you a euphoric feeling. And my wife was using hers before bed last night. You sleep like a baby in the Johnson household. And there's a lot of babies in the Johnson household. Bond Charge ships worldwide. Every product is HSA and FSA eligible, meaning you can save up to 40% pre-tax. So enjoy your sauna blanket this Christmas season. Just perfect if you're in the cold. So currently, the Bond Charge holiday sale is on right now. So you have a massive 25% off. On top of that, you can go to BondCharge, BONCHARGE.com for your 25% off code, automatically added to your order. The sale ends on December 31st. So go today, BondCharge.com, and get your Bond Charge blanket. Yeah, got to tell you, man, we are thrilled about Jared Isaacman, who is our homie and a really awesome dude. He was confirmed yesterday as the youngest NASA administrator after Senate confirmation of a 67-30 vote. A dominant vote in the Senate. Jared Isaacman, I don't know, guys, can you grab me that, can you grab me the clip of me and Jared flying in plane in a jet, please? Yes, it's freaking awesome. Jack, it's up on X, and then I also want to post it up on X. Let's go, man. Jared Isaacman becomes the youngest It's such an awesome dude. He's the youngest nominee ever to head the agency. Self-made billionaire, commercial astronaut, and aviation entrepreneur at the age of 42. We were flying jets with him just a few months ago. So awesome. Congratulations, Jared Isaacman, on his nomination. Drive President Trump's vision for American leadership in space. We're going to go back to the moon in 2028 and beat China, says President Trump. Hell yeah. Lifelong aviation enthusiast and entrepreneur. Jared Isaacman flew us in a jet recently. It was so awesome. Here you go. We went around his, he's got a little like jet aviation hangar in Montana. Here's a photo of us ready to fly. These are called Alpha jets. And this was wild. Sorry, what is this? A photo for ants? What is that? Here's our jet flight, ladies and gentlemen. It was really fun. Amazing, actually. Amazing time. Down in a fighter jet over the mountains of Montana, pulling 5 Gs and trying not to throw up. How the hell did I get here? The answer to that question is Jared Isaacman. He's an American billionaire, entrepreneur, pilot, and astronaut who texted me and said, want to fly some fighter jets? And I said, yeah, let's go do that. Jared Isaacman is an astronaut who's flown historic missions like the first ever all-civilian orbital spacecraft. He's also done the first ever civilian spacewalk. This is something that takes a lot of balls and a lot of skill. And he was also nominated by Donald Trump to lead NASA for obvious reasons. The nomination was withdrawn after a little bit of a scuffle with Elon Musk earlier in the year. Maybe you've heard of it. But new reports indicate that Isaacman is back in the running to become the NASA administrator, and now the NASA administrator. So what an incredible way to cap off a year. Just shows that God has a promise for all of us. Just shows that no matter what setbacks you may have in your life, that God created you. God doesn't need you. Sorry, it sounds like a tough thing to say, but it's true. God is God. He doesn't need a Benny. He doesn't need you. He created you. He created you. He gave you life for a reason, for a purpose, and he put you on this earth in this time. The scriptures say in 1 Peter that you were created in this time for this moment. You're not an accident. You're not in the wrong body. You're not in the wrong gender. You were made by God for this exact moment in time, for this exact purpose. So what are you going to do with it? Don't be sad. Don't be forlorn. Be energized to go out there and seize what God has for you, even with setbacks like that. Jared Isaacman was going to be a made man. And then obviously internal drama caused his nomination to get pulled. And here he is back at it, boys. Freaking awesome. Your new NASA administrator. Just an incredible story of rebirth and reformation and re-energization here. Okay. So what's happening in the markets? Let's go ahead and check Poly Market right now. Maduro, when's the out? We're going to go to war with Venezuela. I don't want it, but whatever. Looks like there's some betting markets that he may be out by next year. That seems to be the consensus here. Potentially next spring. There's no way that a dictator can survive having America effectively blockade your entire nation. All of South America, by the way, is going right wing, which is another incredible trend. Give me a map, please. Give me a map. Show me the map. I want to see the map of like left wing 20 years ago versus right wing. I know that we have it, Jack. I know we got it, Danny. Show me the map. So freaking awesome what is happening on our continent. Venezuela is going to be the big one. Venezuela is the big one. Obviously, the elections in Brazil were crooked as hell and stolen. They're doing to Bolsonaro what they wanted to do to Donald Trump. So let's go. South America is swinging to the right, swinging to freedom. It's awesome. We can show you the maps here. Boys, get those maps queued up. Brown University shooter arrested by, yikes, December 31st or December 19th. It looks like people are saying, yeah, it's not going to happen. I am thankful to Dan Bongino. Dan Bongino quit. He resigned, and he's going to be out in January. Dan Bongino, I'm thankful to him. He was part of the team that was able to facilitate Tyler Robinson's apprehension within hours of the Charlie Kirk shooting. This is a horrible look that you can go and commit mass murder on a campus. He killed 2 students. He shot 12 students. He or she, I mean, again, I don't know if this is she or not. I don't know. I'm not sure. Some people are saying that it really does look like a woman that did this, but they're in the ether. Nobody knows. They can't catch them. They could be in Mexico by now. They could be in Venezuela. It's pissing me off. And it seems totally incompetent. It's like you can just go kill conservatives and then nothing will happen to you. Anyway, Bongino was a part of the crew that obviously caught the Charlie Kirk killer very quickly. That's the good. The bad, I think, is the pipe bomber. Now, while they caught the pipe bomber, there's been no explanation about what was going on with the pipe bomber. Like some young black guy, 25-year-old black guy who has no political background, complete loner, terminally online, confesses to placing the pipe bombs. Well, what the hell is that about? We need further explanation. And the ugly, the good, the bad, and the ugly. The ugly is the Epstein files. You know, that's the, Bongino was about to quit over that because he knew exactly how toxic that was going to be. That was going to stick around for a while. But anyway, Dan Bongino's very successful media empire. He's going to go back to his show. Dan Bongino is obviously a legend, and he's one of those guys that has been a mentor to me. And we're thankful that he's back. I feel like there should be some more hardcore MAGA and America First leadership right now in the profession. And more importantly, like Dan gave up a lot to serve his country. You know, he's making millions. He's doing really well, top of his game, and he gave it all up in order to go into an unfixable problem at the FBI. And we view that as extremely noble and honorable. And so Donald Trump announcing that Bongino's leaving yesterday, and then Bongino announcing it as well, getting a big clap on the back from Trump, Cash, and so on. So we're thankful to Dan, and we're thankful to his service to the nation. Okay, here we go. The maps, the golden age of Latin America. The blue is right-wing, the red is red communist. You are looking at, in these maps, rewind the clock back 20 years ago, all of Latin America was run by communists. And now you're seeing freedom rising, and you're also seeing some major developments in the economies of these nations, strength of these nations. As America goes, so does South America. South America, there's really only 2 countries of like real note here. That is Venezuela and Brazil. Venezuela and Brazil, as they go, all of South America. And so those are the 2 that need to be carved up. And boy, man, we're going to have a incredible next 100 years on this continent if we're able to turn the entire continent to freedom. How will we do it? Well, you got to stay locked in with your Lord and Savior. That's it. That's all you got to do. So Isaiah, our verse of the day, our last verse of the day for 2025. It's crazy that we're here. We are thankful to be here, honestly. So thankful that we were able to survive this year and able to thrive in this year and able to memorialize in this year and are able to gear up for the battles to come. And we do that with the strength from our Lord and Savior. For to us a child is born. To us a son is given. His name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. It is a crazy world. You just heard from that member of Congress, Eli Crane, that things are going nuts right now. The Prince of Peace is your Lord and Savior. He has brought peace unto the world. Those who seek peace seek his name and are a reflection of Christ. Be that in the world and be ready for battle as we head into 2026, another year to save our land and save our nation. And it is such an honor to fight with you every single day so that we can preserve this great nation, greatest nation, for our children. That is the motivation for us. as motivation for our show. Can you grab the Christmas photo at the White House? It's pinned to the top of my X feed. We're just gonna sign off with this. You know, as we go and worship the Christ child, and we remember the Christ child this Christmas season. This is our motivation. In case you need any type of reintroduction to the program, here it is. This is all that motivates me every single day. Be envious, be jealous of me, be bitter, be evil, attack my family, whatever. You know, I'm amazed at like how this elicits reactions from individuals online who, frankly, are just so miserable. We're happy. That means that we've won. God has gifted us with this life, and when you have a child, you realize instantly that your life is no longer your own, and it is about protecting all of this civilization for our children. Your soon-to-be children, your grandchildren. This is what a moral and good and just people do. They preserve nations. They bless their children with an inheritance, their children's children, it says in Psalms. A blessed generation gives them an inheritance to their children's children. So that's it. That's our motivation. That's it. The end. It's pretty easy. It's pretty binary. It's pretty simple. America first, America always, fighting with you for America's future. It's your boy Benny. Thank you for being with us in 2025. On to 2026. May God bless you in this holy Christmas season. Amen. See ya.
Talking about this for?
Where the truth gon' be, faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. From the speeches to debates, Benny sharp like a blade, cutting through the lies, watch the truth cascade. With the warrior's heart, this man never fades. You know it's prime time when Benny invades. From saving the nation to stories untold, the Benny Show's a storm, see the truth unfold. Stay in the loop, let freedom take hold. Salting all the libs, soul never sold. It's the Benny Show, where the truth gon' be, faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. Liberty to light, bringing liberty to light. Liberty to light, bringing liberty to light. From the speeches to debates, Benny sharp like a blade, cutting through the lies, watch the truth cascade. With the warrior's heart, this man never fades. You know it's prime time when Benny invades. From saving the nation to stories untold, the Benny Show's a storm, see the truth unfold. Stay in the loop, let freedom take hold. Salting all the libs, soul never sold. It's the Benny Show, where the truth gon' be, faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light.